Hello and welcome to this introductory video which will walk you through the main features of Quay Risk Manager, also referred to as QRM. When you first log on to QRM, this is the screen that you're presented with. Across the top we have the application name, the risk project you're currently logged into, and a menu which allows you to set whether you're managing risks as we are here, whether you manage projects if you're appropriately authorized, and managing the repository itself, again, if you're appropriately authorized. By and large, though, the vast majority of users will only be managing risks. Risks are managed are arranged into risk projects, and these projects can be arranged into a hierarchy which is depicted in the project navigator. These risk projects can represent an organizational structure, a project structure, anything you care to wish. By selecting any of the projects in the the project navigator, the risks for that particular project are shown in the Risk Explorer to the right. If we select a risk project and also click down the bottom here, include descendant projects, not only the risks for that selected project appear, but also the risks for those subordinate projects of the one that's been selected. The Risk Explorer itself here in the main tab to the right at the top allows us to filter any of the risks that we may just want to see a selection of it. We just may want to see a particular user. Down the bottom there's the risks themselves. By selecting the expansion icon we can see a few more details of that particular risk. By double clicking on the risk editor is open, and we'll go into that more detail in another video. The Risk Explorer also has the action menu, which allows us to add new risks, delete risks, and a number of other functions which we'll go into further in another video. The next main tab is the Issues and Incidents tabs. This is where we can record any incidents or risk issues. Similar to the Risk Explorer, double clicking on any of the icons, any of the risks, brings up the risk editor or the issues and incidents editor, so we can log the details of that particular incident or issue. The next tab, the Project Overview tab, gives us a few more details of a particular risk project that we've selected, and also shows us seeing significant events such as recently added risk, upcoming risk reviews, any reported incidents or projects, or any outstanding user tasks. Clicking on any of these particular risks brings up the risk editor for that particular risk. The risk calendar shows us the exposure of the risks against a timeline. Again, clicking on any of those brings up the risk editor. Summary and propagated risks. There'll be much more details spoken about summary and propagated risks in another video, but basically a risk can be designated as being a summary risk in which a number of other risks contribute to that summary risks. These are shown on the left, and clicking the expansion button shows us the risks which are contributing to that summary risk. By clicking and dragging risks from the right, we can associate them with an existing summary risk. Risk ranking tab allows us to see the risks in a subjective ranking form. Risks are normally ranked according to their tolerance, but we may choose to rank them in some other type of order which we can determine for ourselves. Changing that ranking is as easy as clicking it and moving it to the new position where we think that risk really should be ranked. The relative matrix shows us the risk for the particular project on the tolerance matrix, which is where we have probability on the vertical axis and impact on the horizontal axis. As we mouse over each of the risks, the details of the risks are shown just to the left of the matrix, and clicking on any of those particular risks will bring up the risk editor, as in most cases. We can change the relative probability and impact of the risk simply by clicking and dragging it to its new position. Sometimes this screen can get a bit crowded if we have quite a number of risks, so we can use the selector here to select a particular risk that we're interested in, and that is highlighted on the risk matrix. The analysis tab gives us a number of tools for looking at the risks in a number of different ways. Clicking on the analysis tool selector here brings up the graphs of the particular tool. Reviews can be scheduled for risks on a regular basis, as often as you choose. As with all the graphs here, all the grids here, double clicking on the item brings up the details of the particular review. The final tab is the Reports tab, which allows us to select and execute reports and as well as to review reports. By selecting the button here, select and execute report, and the reports which are available come up, and on the grid here on the left we can select which particular report that we want to run. Let's run the risk owner summary report. We simply select it in the grid and hit execute report. The report, once it's ready, will actually come up in the status here and it will say ready. Selecting ready allows us to download the report in any particular format or just view it in a browser. Let's just view that in a browser. A new browser tab opens up and that report appears. We can also, once we've viewed the report, we may want to actually schedule that to run periodically in the future. We do this with the right hand side of the tab, and we'll go into more details about it in another video. So that's just a quick run through of the main features of Quay Risk Manager. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you take time to have a look at the other videos that were prepared for the site. Thank you.